I wrapped up work underneath the chassis and finished rebuilding replica networks, installed them, and reinstalled the board and cleaned up all the tubes, put them back in. Now I'm going to go pull out the tuner and bring in the CRT, get it all up on the workbench, and try to power this thing up. Alright, pilot light came on, and tube filaments lighting up. Excellent. But no vertical deflection, just like when I first powered up the set. So I haven't replaced any tubes yet. So that's the easiest thing to do. I'll pop in a new 10DE7. I swapped out the 10DE7. A vertical oscillator, an output tube, that made no difference. Then put an extension socket on. I started checking voltages. Particularly I was curious about 8 and 9. 8 goes to the hold control, and that varied. Also checked the hold control, and it had continuity, and the resistance varied as I rotated the control. Pin 9 is a cathode on the output, and that goes to linearity control. That voltage is quite a bit higher. It says 20 volts, and I've got 35, so I want to adjust that, and it didn't seem to be doing its job until I got to far into the control, and then the screen came to life, whereas our vertical oscillator started running. So I think that control may have maybe dirty, maybe kind of worn out. I don't know, but hey, we now have a raster. That's with brightness up all the way. Not so great, but it is an image, or a raster, I should say. Now let's see about actually getting something on the screen. This tuner might be dirty. Since we're going on channel 40, I'll actually get some snow. Weird. Okay, I think I got things straightened out. vertical hold, improved by replacing 6AWA8 video out and noise inverter tube, and horizontal sync. Turns out I made a little mistake on my replica networks. This blue line here, I failed to make that connection. Luckily, it's very easy to get in there and add a little jumper wire to rectify that situation. So, let's fire this up again. Much better. I'm adjusting horizontal hold now. It stays in lock as I adjust it. Excellent. Pretty good linearity too, considering I haven't even adjusted anything yet. Well, that's a new one on me. The sound is actually not coming out of the speaker. It's coming out of something in the circuitry down here. Turns out I actually had the speaker hooked up in the wrong spot, and what I was hearing, this sound, actually coming from something in the circuit board. Something is vibrating. I think inside this coil. Well, that's a first for me. So let's see if I hook the speaker up right. Is worth coming. All right. La 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 la. Control needs a little cleaning. Otherwise, we've got sound. There's a little buzz control here on the circuit board, just for best sound. Here it is running off a converter box. The brightness up all the way. Definitely watchable in a dim room.
The other helps you sleep. Science suggests when you have insomnia, the wake system in your brain may be too strong, and your neurotransmitters remain too active as you try to sleep.
No doubt it'd be much better with a new picture tube.
That's what's preventing me from getting the sleep I need.
Okay, got the set working pretty well now. I have decent sound. One thing I haven't touched yet is inside of this box, so I'm going to pop this shield off. And I think I'll end up pulling out the board, replacing the resistors on that. Might as well when I've gone this far. And I did a couple passes with Novus No. 2 plastic polish on the screen. It's looking a whole lot better. Got little paint splatters and a crud that was all around up in here. I'll do one or two more passes. Get this shining up real nice. And alignment, we'll see. I don't really think it needs it. I might just do a quick touch up on it though. Here's a look underneath that IF shield. So, as you can see, not a single paper capacitor. So, quite often these do work pretty much, but I'm sure these resistors have drifted off tolerance a bit, and if I'm going to take the board out, I might as well replace them all. I'm going through the alignment process now. Main difficulties, I think, are in having the equipment and setting things up right. So you're going to need an RF generator or a good sweep generator like a p4o4 designed for 45 megahertz IF. It's got markers for very specific frequencies, or a very good RF generator, because you got to generate some very precise frequencies, as shown in the column here, like 47.4, 41.35, 47.4, and so on. And you inject them to the tuner by removing the grounded shield and putting an insulated shield over the RF oscillator mixer tube, and you actually connect the high side of the RF generator to the tube shield, and you keep it isolated from the grounded chassis. Hook up your scope to the green wire coming out of the IF board via a 10K resistor in series, and then you need to hook up a negative 4.5 volts to the HEC bus right here. And then you go through these steps. Oh, and it should be a 400 hertz modulated to 30% on the RF generator. And then on the scope, there is my signal. A lot of noisy spikes because I don't have the shield on here right now. And then you go through and peak the coils for min or max as indicated. So for example, at 42.7 I want to peak this coil. So, and peak it right around there. Alternately, if you got something like a 415 sweep generator with a whole bunch of markers at these key points, you could do the overall picture and do it visually. What they suggest doing at SAMS is you do all the fixed frequencies and then check the overall response with an RF generator, a sweep generator as a final step, and retouch these if needed. I finished up with the alignment and buttoned the set back up, and it is playing quite well now, aside from the picture tube being dim. Here it is all back together. Fire it up. Takes a little while to warm up, thanks to the thermistor. And because the CRT is weak, that will also take a while to warm up. Now the owner of this set just happened to stop by with two more Predictas. One of which is this holiday that we decided to swap out the picture tube with, because it's not in the greatest shape. It's missing the back, it's missing the legs. Okay. Pedestal just came alive. So it's not terrible. It's with the brightness all the way up. Contrast has to be kept pretty low or it starts to not look so hot. See, there's a nice hole burned in it there. That's from the set being turned off where it collapses down to a dot. But it turns out this holiday has a replacement of a 21 FDP4 that tests pretty darn good. So we're going to be swapping it out. See, some of the issues we get with this is not just it being dim, but also it kind of has some blooming focused issues and some trailing smears. So all that will be taken care of by swapping them out. It takes a bit of work. I already started taking this one apart. You got to take the band off, take the front cover off, take the back cover off, and then you got to take the steel harness off. And then once you get in, I probably have to play around with the centering controls and whatnot. But we'll get it. I think that's actually on the plastic cover, so when I got this off, I can also clean that off. Also going to swap out the bands because this one has a crack. But otherwise, this is, I think I can say, the nicest Predicta I've ever seen in terms of the original finish, all original knobs, original CRT housing, and it plays great.
Well, I guess that's a pretty good reason. They'll be at the courthouse waiting for you.
Thanks, Paul.
Luckily, I've done this a few times before, so I knew how to get the picture tube apart, which does take a little bit of finesse. Here it is. Some RCA Silverama. Looks to be in excellent condition. Definitely not a rebuild. It's still got all the original Silverama markings on it. Very nice, high quality picture tube. This modification they're referring to means jumping out a section in the filament wrapper, which you really don't have to do because we now have higher line voltages, which more than makes up for this being a 6.3 volt CRT versus a 2.3 volt original. Alright, to finish with the transplant, let's see if it was a success. What I'm hoping for is a brighter, sharper picture with better contrast. It's kind of a gray day out, but it is daylight hours and before you had to watch the set in dim lighting conditions. So I'm also hoping that the set will be watchable with all the lights turned on and light coming in through the windows. Yes, indeed. It looks like it was a success.
And we went hungry for it, and we fought claim jumpers for it. And for his sake, I give his kids a home. And every night...
Brightness all the way up. Plenty brighter.
It's working too
Definitely
hard.
worth the time and effort to make the change.
And you can stand there and call me soft.
Miss Chadway, wait a minute. Think about the 3 kids at the station today.
So, I am declaring this project done. Hope you enjoyed this look at restoring a Philco Predicta Pedestal from around 1959.
That good blood that you were talking about.
I don't understand what's going on here. Why are the two of you ganging up on me?
You fought claim jumpers. Get mad, lady.
Fight.